Hi everyone, in this video I won't show you a game between two super grandmasters. Instead, I want to analyze a game between Grandmaster Rasmus Svane from Germany and FIDE Master Gavrilescu David from Romania. The game was played in Tradewise Gibraltar Masters Tournament 2018 round 3. Let's see the game. White started with d4 and Black replied with knight to f6, c4 and e6, allowing darker bishop to develop to b4. If White would play knight to c3, we would have the Nimzo Indian defense, but White continues with g3, the Catalan opening, intends to put the light square bishop on the long diagonal, d5, placing a pawn in the center, and bishop to g2. The most played move in this position for Black is bishop to e7, continuing the development, followed by short castle, but in the game, Black played bishop to b4 check, and White has three ways to block the check: with the bishop, with the knight to d2, or the knight to c3. In the game, White chose the second option with knight to d2. Short castle, Black king is safe, knight to f3, another developing move, preparing short castle. Black continued by taking on c4, releasing the central tension. By doing this, the bishop diagonal is opened. Another way to continue was to develop the light square bishop by playing b6 and bishop to b7, opposing the other bishop. This is one of the ways to restrict opponent bishop. In the game, White continued with queen to c2, attacking the pawn, and Black continued with a5, defending the bishop. As we know, pawn moves in an opening are good only if they help us to develop a piece. This move allows the rook to come into the game using the 6th rank. Another idea is for the rook to move away from bishop attack. Black also expanded on the queen side, and next he might play b5, defending the pawn. Better was to continue the development with the knight to c6. White played a3, attacking the bishop that stands in White territory. In an opening, we need to put our pieces on the most forward square or push away opponent pieces that are in our half of the board. Black took the knight, giving his bishop pair. Black idea is to play b5 to defend the pawn. In the game, White took the bishop, and as we can see with this move, Black helped White to develop his bishop. White only needs to make short castle or long castle and his opening is done. Black continued with b5, defending the pawn, allowing the light square bishop to develop to b7. This move opens the long diagonal, allowing White to play knight to e5, attacking the rook, but the rook can move to a7. In the game, White attacked the pawns from the queen side with a4, c6, defending, and White placed another pawn in the center with e4. Better was to finish the opening and castle a6, controlling g5, preventing the bishop to pin the knight. In this position, White has several moves. He can castle short, he can play e5, kicking the knight, or start an attack on Black king with g4. The problem with this attack is that White king is still in the center, but White played g4. It's a free pawn. The plan is to push g5. Black can take the pawn, opening the g file for White to attack, and after e5 and h3 the knight is trapped. There is a rule in chess saying that when your opponent attacks you on a flank, you should strike in the center, so Black should play e5 in this position. In the game, Black continued with knight bd7. The problem with this move is that White can push g5. If Black would have played e5, we would have the following line. White has to take on e5 with the pawn. Taking with the knight is not good because the queen will grab the pawn. So d takes on e5, the knight is attacked, knight f to d7, g5 continue the attack, h takes, bishop takes on g5, attacking the queen, queen to c7, short castle, rook to e8. White has no attack here. So in the game, Black played knight to b7 and White pushed g5, attacking the knight and the pawn, and Black took e5, kicking the knight away, knight to a7. For the moment, White has no attacking moves, so White needs to bring another piece into the game. Also, when we attack, we need to open lines and diagonals towards the enemy king. Since white didn't castle, he can try to open the h file, and in the game white pushed h4. White threatens to take and deliver mate with the queen on h7. In the game, black placed his rook to a6, defending the pawn from c6, and white took on g5, opening the h file, threatening also mate. g6, protecting against this threat, creating some dark square weaknesses around the king. The knight can take advantage of this by going to f6 via h7, g4 and f6. Playing f5 instead of g6 is losing. Let's see that line. f5, and here white can take en passant with the g-pawn. G takes on f6, and if black takes on f6, black is mated with queen to g6, check, king to h8, and rook takes on h7. So in the game, g6 was played, and white improved his queen position by placing it to e4, looking to go to h4 and give mate. Rook to e8, making room for the other knight to come and protect the knight from h7. Another try was to put the king on h7, trying to defend the knight with the rook. Let's see that line. King to g7, but white can sack the exchange with rook takes on h7, king takes on h7, queen to h4 check, king to g8, and king to e2. The other rook will join the party to h1. f5, making some room for the king to escape. Rook to h1, king to f7, queen to a7 check, king to e8, queen takes on g6 check, rook to f7, rook to h8 check, knight to f8, queen to a6, king to d7, and g6 attacking the rook, rook to e7, bishop to g5, pinning the rook, and white has many threats here, and he's winning after, for example, king to c7 trying to escape, g7, and the knight is pinned. In the game, rook to e8 was played, queen to h4, and knight df8. Seems that black is holding, but white needs to bring more attackers into black territory, and the knight position can be improved and reach f6. Black cannot prevent this plan. In the game, white played a bad move, queen to h2, a retreat move that decreases the number of squares controlled by the queen. With this move, h4 square is free for the knight to go, but there's no future for the knight on that square. This is a bad move from white part that gives black a chance to bring his bishop on the long diagonal. But in the game, black played f5. There is another rule in chess saying that the part that attacks should push pawns and the defending side should not push pawns. If you want to find by yourself the drawback of this move, please pause the video and find it by yourself. Black's intention was to free f7 for the king to run, but white can take en passant the f pawn with the g-pawn. If the king tries to escape to f7, he is mated. Let's see that line. King to f7, queen takes on h7 check, knight takes, rook takes check, king to g8, rook to g7 check, king to f8, and knight to h6, looking to give some discovered check. Rook to a7, attacking the rook, rook takes on a7 check, king to g8, rook to g7 check, king to f8, knight to g5, rook to e7, the rook is free, check, king to g8, f7 check, king to h8, rook to e8 check, forking the queen and the king, queen takes and mate. So in the game, black played another move. So after g takes on f6, black took an a4. There is no direct attack, and white needs to bring more pieces into the attack. In this position, we can see that the knights are holding black position. When we attack, we need to identify the pieces that defend the king and try to eliminate them. So the best move in this position is to attack one of the knights. This could be accomplished with bishop to h6. In the game, white played bishop to f4. This is not an attacking move, it's just defending a pawn that it's already defended. Black continued with queen to c7. Instead of this move, if black tries to take f6 pawn, giving a knight for 2 pawns, he get mated. Let's see that line. So knight takes on f6, queen to h8 check, king to f7, knight to g5 check, king to e7, and queen to g7. Maybe black should try to counterattack on the queen side. In the game black played queen to c7. We can notice that the queen is not protected by any piece, and white pushed f7. We have a check, and this is a free pawn. The queen has to take it, but black decided to take with the king. The drawback of this move is that white takes advantage of the queen that is unprotected. He can win both knights by taking on h7, forcing the other knight to take, and after the rook recapture, king moves and the rook takes the queen. So in this position, black resigned. Let's see the line. Knight takes, rook takes, king to g8, rook takes on c7. White is 2 pieces up, and black has many weak pawns to attack. 2 double pawns on the a file and c file, and 2 isolated pawns on E and G files. I hope that you learned something from this game. Please watch other games from my channel, and if you like this video clip, click the like button and subscribe. See you soon. Bye.